Little bit of rain never really hurt anyone, but pleased to be joined here by Rose Zhang. Rose, coming off a week at Pebble Beach, your third consecutive top 10 finish. Just how are you feeling going into Toledo this week?
It's been pretty great so far. I've just been enjoying tour life, and I've learned a lot in the last couple weeks. So going into this event, it's I'm just as excited. Feeling a little bit under the weather, if you can't tell by my voice, but I'm slowly just trying to get the momentum and really understanding how much of a grind tour life is in general.
We talked to Allison right before you, and Allison, had to suddenly change all of her travel plans to come. Obviously, plans change for her. What were the travel plans like for you to get out here?
Well, it wasn't exactly a well-intended travel plan either. I actually flew out at 6 a.m. from Monterey, but went into Phoenix. Everything was going well as planned, but I had a 9-hour delay. So I got in Tuesday morning at 3 a.m. To my hotel, and it's been a little bit rough. So I've just when you're lacking that much sleep and you're playing 9 and you're trying to see a new golf course, it's pretty straightforward in general. This course is really pure, but you definitely are not in the mindset to just play every single shot that you see. So I'm just going along with it. I think that this is going to be a test for me, and it'll just allow me to grow harder and better as a person.
You talk a little bit about learning about what life on tour is like. Over the last couple of weeks, what are some of those lessons that you've learned?
Well, first of all, it's just so new. I came as an amateur, and now as a professional, you have a lot more people kind of gravitating towards you, for autographs, maybe just hollering out "Go Rose" and cheering you on. So that's a new dynamic that I've never really had before. And in addition, just understanding how to manage your body and the fitness aspect, the nutrition aspect. These are all things that are very niche, and a lot of pros are detail oriented about it. So I'm kind of learning about how to take care of myself in the midst of all the chaos. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot of scheduled plans on a day-to-day basis. You have a lot of obligations. So for me, I haven't been having as much time to myself, which is fine, but there's moments where I really need to carve out some silence for me, and I think that's kind of the things that I've been really focusing on. And the golf game itself, I mean, you're on an LPGA tour, there's so many good players, best in the world, and you're going to have to be able to guide yourself in the midst of that as well.
I remember it was either Mizuho or KPMG. You talked about, when you're in college, about there's so much time to carve out on the range. There's so much time to work on that golf game, and having to balance that with the responsibilities. Have you felt a little bit more comfortable, or is it kind of just trying to get it under your belt at this point?
Right. I think it's kind of the latter, trying to get it under my belt. Since you don't have as much time, you really have to focus on details, and sometimes you have to go into events that you don't feel as comfortable playing in, and that's kind of how you are able to navigate your golf game, and you're gonna have to quote-unquote grind it out. So I think that's usually the game plan, even if you aren't as comfortable and you don't have a lot of reps. Just being able to commit to every single golf shot when you're out on the golf course, and laying out a plan that will allow you to play the best to your ability is much more crucial.
Absolutely. One more for me before we open it up, but obviously this is an interesting tournament for you because you originally received an exemption through your win for being the NCAA individual champion, and then being able to win and earn it as a professional LPGA Tour member. What was that like for you, even continuing this obligation and commitment?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, Yeah, I was originally going to come into this event as an amateur, but now that I'm playing as a professional and I'll be in the field trying to go after the title is something that I haven't really thought about, but now it's just kind of the reality, and I'm really enjoying it. To be able to play this kind of event, on the LPGA schedule, it's something that you kind of dream about because on the week-to-week basis, you want to be able to play with all the amazing players and make this your real lifestyle. So I'm just enjoying it. Toledo has been great so far. And I know that this is a first where players can have dining, and there's just so many more open amenities that I think all the players appreciate.
All right, we'll open it up here in the room for questions before Zoom. Kyle?
You turned pro, obviously, well into the season this year. How big of a goal is the Solheim Cup team making that for you?
Yeah, I haven't thought about it much going in as a new professional, but now I've really realized that playing the Solheim Cup is much of a possibility. So I mean, being able to make the team would mean the world's. Playing against the best on the European team and representing your country is something that all athletes admire and want to go for. So I've played the Junior Solheim Cup twice, and I've understood how that dynamic works, how amazing of an event it is. So being able to make it on the U.S. team would certainly be a pretty forefront goal.
And have you had conversations with Stacy since you turned pro about the Solheim Cup?
Here and there. I mean, we don't talk about it explicitly. It's just, I mean, she was my captain before at Spirit International, so all I've been doing is just catching up with her on how life is, how Chesney is, and we just talked about that. And she's been great in helping me adjust to the tour life. She's like, if you need anything, I'm here, and I can give you advice. So we haven't been talking about the Solheim Cup per se, but I know she's busy on her plate.
Thank you.
Hi, Rose. You've kind of taken the LPGA by storm here in the 2 months, less than that really, that you've been here. Are you kind of aware it shouldn't really be this easy?
By no means do I think it's easy. In the last couple of events I've been playing in, I've really realized how difficult being on tour is, and even though I've placed well, even though I finished well, it's safe to say that I have not thought this was an easy ride at all. And I've had, even, in the last 3 events that I've played in, there's a bit of ups and downs, like with just understanding how everything works. And I've been keeping myself busy, but I feel like the people around me have really kept me grounded and allowed me to balance out my lifestyle a little bit more. But no, it's not easy. And I totally think that with the veterans out here, like, they're just so resilient, and you really have to be resilient and grounded when it comes to playing on a daily basis.
Getting back to being an amateur here, now being a pro here, did your success make the decision for you to turn pro, or could you take us in that decision-making process?
Of course, a little bit. I came into college freshman fall, kind of thinking what I should do with my entire, game plan for professional golf, because, by that time there's a lot of conversation on whether or not I should turn professional or whether or not I should, stay in college and play collegiate golf. But I had to sit down with coach, and we've talked about it, about like my ambitions. Ultimately, I did want to go play professional golf, but you really have to understand that playing well means that it's best for you to have stages where you can see yourself improving and see yourself moving on to the next level. And collegiate golf is kind of my determiner on whether or not I felt like I was ready for what pro life was and what pro life is going to be. And playing well in college definitely allowed me to realize, hey, maybe I can move on, and I can test my limits, see what I can do out on tour. So that's what ultimately allowed me to shift over to moving on.
And the last one for me, what's the best advice you've gotten from a fellow LPGA Tour player thus far?
Oh, best advice. I've received a lot of support and advice from so many players, but I think the consensus, like all the players, they did reiterate this one thing of take care of yourself, because when you're out on tour, it's not so much, trying to play super well every single week. Or every single week and trying to go for that trophy. It's more so the consistency of yourself and the longevity of your game. So, taking care of your body, making sure you're well rested, but also at the same time, having responsibilities and allowing yourself to do what you need to do out on the golf course. These are all things that require balance, and that's what they've been emphasizing. It's just balance out your life. Golf is not your entire world, even though it is your profession, and just enjoy it.
All right, I think we're going to open it up to the Zoom. Kent, if you'd like to go first and unmute yourself.
Rose, you've talked about the attention you received and adapting to that. The U.S. Women's Open, I can only imagine, was another degree of fan attention. What was that like? Were there any interactions with fans that stood out to you last week?
Fans? Well, it's been really cool just to see how much home support I've been getting, just because I'm only an hour away from Pebble, and everyone coming was just, one, they were Stanford Cardinal fans, and that was exciting just to hear them say go Card, and that's something that I kind of missed from college. So just having them, show that school spirit, it has been really cool. There's a couple Stanford grads that came out and just, said hi, and I had a couple friends as well who are currently in college, and I'll be seeing them in the winter. They came out to support. Also, I played with my teammates, so it's just that entire environment has been really comfortable for me. But yeah, fans as well. So many family friends also came up from Southern California because you don't want to miss a chance to watch Pebble and see all the female players play at such a prestigious course. So I think the crowds have been really high energy, and it's been really fun to be out there.
Having such size crowds, have you seen any impact from that on your play?
I don't really know. I can't really answer that just because I don't really know what my game would be like if there were no crowds. But at the same time, I think that I treat these crowds as a motivator, as people who really want to just see me play well and perform well and come out and cheer for me. So I don't think there's a negative impact in any sense seeing these crowds out here. And a lot of them actually don't play golf. So when you're out there, even if you hit the golf ball probably, only 30 yards, they'll probably still be cheering for you.
Thanks, Rose.
Thanks, Ken. And Patrick, if you'd like to unmute yourself.
Rose, I'm curious. It seems like every day there's another headline that refers to you as like maybe the next Tiger Woods or you're the next Tiger Woods. I'm just curious how you feel about that, like when you see that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like I haven't really gone on the internet and searched up my own name and seen my name next to Tiger Woods, but I will say that it is an honor. Just to have his name and my name be in the same conversation, it's not something that you get to see every day. So, if that's the case, that's amazing. I will say that I'm just so different from him in terms of personality and kind of, like it's also a different generation. So I don't really think about me having to, you know, I guess, achieve what he achieved. Like, it's insane. There's only one Tiger Woods in this world and in this time frame. So I admire him so much in his career. But yeah, I think it's incredible that we are in the same conversation.
Thank you very much.
All right, I think that will do it for us here. Thank you so much, Rose.
Thank you.